So division is another aspect of algebra that we need to understand and how that works with pronumerals, coefficients, constants that are involved in algebraic expressions. The thing that we need to be aware of before we start anything else though is that in terms of division, if we have something like 18 divided by 3, we know that that equals 6. We can rewrite this, so this is the same as saying 18 over 3. This is also equal to 6. And I'll circle these in red. 18 divided by 3 is the equivalent to, or the same as, 18 over 3. And if you sort of pay close attention, you'll notice that a division sign is just a fraction, and these little circles, the dots, are the placeholders for the numbers. And the first number goes to the top, and the second number goes to the bottom when we rewrite them as a fraction. It's a really important part of mathematics to understand that correlation or that relationship between the division sign and that it is the same as writing something as a fraction. Okay, with that in mind, let's have a look at the division of algebraic terms. Now, we know that what makes a term an algebraic term and what makes an expression an algebraic expression is the inclusion of pronumerals. So we need to understand how we can do this sort of work. So the first example I'm going to show you is if we have, and I'm going to use 18 and 3 again because we've already seen that, so let's see if it helps figure the answer out here. 18x divided by 3. What we do here is we look at, I like to change these straight away into a fraction because we can do something called cancelling out, and it's a lot easier to do once you understand what's going on. So I'm going to rewrite 18x divided by 3 as 18x over 3. Now that I've done that, I'm going to manipulate this and I'm going to look for common factors. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, well, can I divide 18 by 3? How many times does 3 go into 18? Let me say, well, if I do that, 3 goes into 18 6 times, and 3 goes into itself 1 time. Because what I've just done there is I've found the highest common factor. I'm just going to write this in red. The highest common factor is 3. And so I'm dividing the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. And that's the process that we're going through. But in essence, what we need to do is see, is this number in the denominator able to be divided into the number in the numerator? And if so, we can cancel those out. Now, when we cancel it out, we just change it to a 1 if it's the same number down the bottom. So dividing that denominator by 3, we're going to change that to a 1, and dividing the numerator, the coefficient here, to our pronumeral, which is 18, dividing that by 3, and that gives us 6. So what we're going to do then is rewrite this as 6x over 1, and just a reminder as well that anything over 1 we just rewrite as the numerator. Whatever's on top in that top position, we just rewrite on its own, and we don't have to put it over 1. That's just another way that we can rewrite a whole number to use if we're doing something with fractions. Okay, so that's the process. I'm not going to go through that step by step each time and divide top and bottom by the highest common factor. That's just the idea behind it. So we can simplify that and do it a little bit quicker by not going through that process implicitly each time, explicitly each time, but doing it implicitly, just using that idea and running with it. So let's have a look here at B. I'm going to do something very similar. Let me see, 12y divided by 4 equals 4 goes into the top and the bottom. So I'm going to cross that out again. It's a 1 there and a 3 there with my times tables. So therefore, my answer is going to be 3y because it changes the denominator to a 1, and anything over 1 is just itself. So 3y. Okie dokie. Now, if we see something where we have a pronumeral on the top and the bottom of a fraction, what we can do is, or in the first and second positions of a division question, we are able to cancel out like terms. And that's why I like to use this method with algebraic expressions. So if I have a question similar to this, if I had something say 21x divided by 7x, I'm going to rewrite that as a fraction because it's going to make my life a little bit easier once I have an understanding of what's going on with cancelling things out. And I'm going to put my equal sign down here ready to go, but I'm going to get my different color and start cancelling. So 7 and 21, just like we've done before where it was just the numeral on its own in the denominator position, we can cancel out. 7 goes into 21 3 times, and that one down there. Now, how many times does x go into x? How many x's are there in x? We can cancel that out as well. There's an x on the top and there's an x on the bottom. Whenever we cancel something out, we replace it, if it's cancelled out exactly, with a 1. And so remembering here, and this is an important part, that what we had here, I'm just going to rewrite this, remember that 21x is 21 times x over 7 times x. And so when we cancel these things out, our answer is going to actually look a little bit like, or what we're thinking about here is 3 times 1 on the top and 1 times 1 on the bottom, which equals 3 over 1, which is just 3. It's important to remember this part of how algebraic terms work just over here in the red cloud, because this is going to impact on how we can cancel things out. Letters can cancel out letters, numbers can cancel out numbers, but they can't cancel out, so x's can't cancel out 7s and so on. It just doesn't work that way. But as long as the same number, pronumeral is on the top and the bottom of an equation, we can cancel it out. Sometimes we're going to have multiple pronumerals involved, and we may be able to cancel out some and not others, or all, or none. We'll just have to see how we go. So here's an example where we're going to have multiple pronumerals involved in our algebraic expression that we need to simplify. To begin with, we're going to have 45 AB over 9A squared. Okay, now I'm introducing an additional idea here with the squared, but if you've covered multiplication of algebraic terms, you should understand what's happening there. I'll go through it very quickly so we don't have any confusion though. So here we have 45AB over 9A squared. What this is saying is, and I'm just going to rewrite this over here in a different color. Remember, it's 45 times A, there's that implied multiplication, times B, or multiplied by B, and that's being divided by or over 9 multiplied by, remembering that when something is squared, it's just multiplied by itself, and it's only affecting the A. The index is attached to the A, not to the 9. It's 9 times A times A. So this little number here, the index value, represents how many times this, whatever it might be in the expression, in the term, a pronumeral, it won't be represented with a coefficient more often than not, but whatever the pronumeral might be, how many times that pronumeral is being multiplied by itself. 2 for squared, it's only multiplied by itself twice. So we're going to cancel some things out, and I'll do it in 2 places. So here, how many times does 9 go into 45? Does it? Yes, it does. It goes in 5 times. So there's a 5 there and a 1 there. There's no B's on the bottom, so I can't cancel the B's out, but there are A's. Now, I just have to remember that this squared means that there are 2 A's essentially on the bottom. So that top one's going to cancel out, and one of these ones down here. So I'm crossing out the index value there because I know that anything raised to the power of 1 is just itself. But if I was to do it over here, and I'll do this in a different color. If I was to do it over here, 45 and 9, we have 5 and 1. And then our a's, one of the a's down the bottom cancels out with one of the a's on the top, but the b remains and the a on the bottom here, one of them remains down here. So we still have something with a value other than 1 in the denominator. So we'll have a denominator as part of our answer for this question. So it leaves us with, on the top, 5 multiplied by b over, and there's only the 1a remaining. And that's how we would represent that answer there. Alrighty. The very last thing I'm going to talk to you about, just quickly, to do with division of algebraic terms, is if you get the situation where you've got negative numbers and positive numbers in the numerator and denominator, or variants of that, the same rule applies, and I'll write this up here in the corner so that you can be reminded of that. That like terms when dividing, similar to when we multiply, and I apologize about my handwriting, I am still getting familiar with the tablet, to like terms make a positive, and to unlike terms make a negative. Really important to remember, this continues to happen when we're talking about our multiplication and our division in any aspect. And it's kind of like the way that the multiplication and division sort of share a position when we're talking about bid mass. They share some of the same sorts of interactions as well. So two like terms make a positive, two unlike terms make negatives. So if I had a question that showed you this, for example, let me see here. We're going to do 15x divided by negative 3y. We have a positive in the numerator position and a negative term in the denominator position, or positive in the top position and negative in the bottom position of our fraction. So we will cancel out, but because we have a positive and a negative, we have two unlike terms, and if we go up here, two unlike terms make a negative. So we need to keep that in mind. So our answer is going to be negative here. So 15 divided by negative 3 is going to give me, if I cancel those things out, the negative 3 can disappear down the bottom and result in a 1, but up the top, that's going to give me a negative 5, not just a 5, because I have to have a negative due to there being two unlike terms. X cannot cancel out y and vice versa because they're not like terms. So now we're going to write down our answer. So we end up with minus 5x over y. And I've left the negative sign out the front there because with fractions, if there's a negative in one place, the entire fraction is negative. Okay. If we were to have two like terms, and I'll use negatives as an example here, one on the top and one on the bottom, that is going to result in a positive answer. And we wouldn't usually see that in a fraction. We would often see that if it was written as a number sentence with a division symbol instead. So I'll do that just to show you what I mean. So if we had negative 27a divided by negative 3a squared b, let's rewrite that as a fraction. So we can do our cancelling out. Negative 27a over negative 3a squared b. Remembering that when we have an index value, the number of that index value tells us how many times that pronumeral is being multiplied by itself. And we have some like terms here as well. So a few things going on. Let's cancel out the numbers to begin with, the coefficients. -3 goes into -27 9 times, and it's a positive 9 because they are like terms, and two like terms make a positive. The one down the bottom there. A goes into a squared. Well, yes, we can cancel out the a on the top, and only one of the a's down the bottom, so that reduces our index by 1 to a 1 and leaves us with just an a. There are no b's on the top, only a b down the bottom in the denominator position, so let's rewrite our answer now that we've cancelled some things out. In its simplest form, we have just a 9 remaining on the top of the fraction, and then down the bottom, we are left with an a and a b. And that is that algebraic expression simplified down as much as we can. Thank you again for watching.